Welcome to the second Scrum Day Europe. We're excited to have you here. My name is Patricia Kong. I'm from scrum.org. We bring you this event with our partners, Pro Awareness, VX Company, and Capgemini. We are running a little bit late. You would think we'd be better at time boxing, but we're not. So next year, that's something that we can improve on. This year, the topic is around Scrum for the Enterprise. That's really a response, a conversation we wanted to start because of what we're hearing from the market, especially at scrum.org. So people want to be agile. They want to do agile. What does that mean? So that's kind of a conversation that we're trying to start here and maybe help you as organizations or you helping organizations. I'm going to cut the introduction a little bit short on my behalf because we're running a little bit late. We are going to get directly into the first session with Ken Schwaber and Gunther Verheyen, both, I guess, my boss and my colleagues from scrum.org. Ken Schwaber is the co-founder of Scrum, obviously, co-author of the Agile Manifesto. Gunther has been in software development. Between the two of them, they actually have about 50 years of experience in software development, and he has recently joined scrum.org as the director of programs and professional programs. So I'm going to introduce them now. They're here to talk to you about if you think you're agile, what does that really mean?
Here. What we got? Good morning. In the Russian tradition, is this water or vodka? So what we're going to talk about is agility, because it's not Scrum, people talk about that, but organizations want to do agility. So we get calls saying, hey, I want to do Agile, which is certainly, I think it's a dance or something like that, I'm not sure. Agile is actually, a pretty well-known word, and it's talking about a business's ability, so it's not necessarily software development, it's a business's ability to take advantage of opportunities, to respond to challenges, and at the same time to control the risk that's involved in this. And this is certainly much, much more important today than when we wrote the Agile Manifesto 12 years ago. The market has changed, the world's changed, the energy situation has changed. Everything has changed and become much more volatile and unpredictable. So this ability, which was good and certainly a competitive advantage in 2001, is almost now mandatory for any business to compete effectively against anyone else. It also means, just another phrase, to be quick, to be nimble. So one might be organizational, and the other one is at more of a personal level.
Mr. Schwaber, I've been sitting here and listening to a story, and I understand all of that stuff, and I understand Scrum and so on. But you know what? I'm a really important executive. I'm a really important manager. You see the color of my tie?
You must be Dutch.
I am.
Ah,
I'm orange. Yeah. So, and I'm a really important manager of a really important big company, and I've got this problem with Scrum. People once told, so we've gone to Scrum. So we are Agile, right? We're doing Scrum.
Get Scrum.
No. Oh. No, we're Agile. We're doing Scrum. And then people told me Scrum was going to be fun. Now, I'm a really important manager, and Scrum is not fun at all. I can't do anything anymore. I can't intervene. I can't ask for actuals. People don't fill in my timesheets anymore. They don't report to me anymore. I only get to go to that thing called sprint review meeting. If I come in between, people slam the door in my face. They do like, talk, talk, talk. You're a chicken, get out. I have no idea what they talk about.
Yeah.
So Scrum is not fun at all. I'm lost. I'm a manager. I still have to manage. I've got all of these business functions. We've got sales, marketing people. We've got business development people. What am I to do? I'm lost.
We feel for you.
Oh, thank you.
we actually...
That doesn't really help.
No, but I could buy you a beer.
Oh.
We actually would like to talk to you because we think that Scrum is not the answer. It is simply an enabler to what you can then manage more effectively. Many of the developers don't know Scrum, so it takes them a while. Agility requires a different way of managing, though, too. You're not just managing day by day the same way. Instead, you're standing, you're waiting for new opportunities, new challenges, so you can take advantage or be better with them.
Are you now saying I'm not really a manager?
I'm saying you're still a manager, but you're a different type of manager.
Oh, okay.
So this is good.
So
Now,
and you're saying Scrum is not enough?
No.
Because we've done Scrum, we've gone through a lot of effort to get our IT departments to go for Scrum.
Yeah. So it's like doing weightlifting before you join the gymnastics team for the Olympics. A start, but certainly maybe even the wrong start. You need to do much more. So sorry.
Oh, okay. So show me what's
Well,
more to
let me
it.
show you first. Of the companies that were interviewed by Forrester, which is an industry and analyst group, very well reputed, 100% agile. 18,
That's me.
Yeah, 18.5%
We do
of companies
Scrum.
said
I'm 100%
they are
agile.
totally agile. This is profound. And 75 to 90. So this is really good, except there's still 40% who say, not much, or what? So, and the other thing of this when you're in the study was most of those companies that are 100% agile, they were product companies were significantly more 100% agile than companies that built software for their own internal use. So the pressure, competitive pressure. Are you from like a product company or more of an IT organization?
I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Whatever you want. Okay.
We build software. I think.
Now, I just would like to assert a few things which maybe you would disagree with. Organizations certainly seem to be desperate to be agile.
Yeah, that's me.
Except for energy companies and financial companies. They perhaps less, but whatever. So there's certainly a need to do this, to compete, to respond to the changes. Scrum doesn't make you agile. It's just a foundation. If you can build software the way Scrum enables, then you can be agile, but it doesn't make you agile. Okay. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
It's okay?
That's okay.
Okay.
I'll get over it.
But here's the good news. Agility can be gained by organizations if they progressively refocus their business to take advantage of the rapid cycle, iterative incremental development that Scrum provides.
Oh, so I can use the way that we're doing Scrum and start reorganizing stuff around that?
To take advantage of it.
As a whole, we become agile.
Yeah.
That's what you call agility, right?
It certainly grows to become agility.
Okay.
So you would go from
cool.
a little bit agile to being a lot agile.
Oh, so that might be a way out for me to be a manager again,
That is your job.
Oh, okay. That's managing.
Yes. Not just product development or software development, but your whole organization. You may want to sell contracts differently. You may want to engage with your customers differently. You may want to release products differently. All sorts of potential.
So we want all of these people to be like leaders of change, right?
I would hope so. I mean, what a great job.
Wow.
Rather than going to work and being utterly bored, you can go to work and be utterly scared. I mean, this is a great opportunity. So we just had a question because how many of you were here last year? Okay, so I know your answers to this, but the others, not so sure. Where are you on your path to agility? So you have Scrum maybe working or not, and you are more or less agile. Where are you on your path to being the best organization in your marketplace? So are you, that 100% agile? How many would say that?
Yeah.
You guys are in like 1 or 2 person companies, right? It's good. Are you becoming agile? Wow, that's good. Excellent. Have you been told to be agile and you're going to start pretty soon? Agile's not in your immediate horizon. Matter of fact, this may have been the first time you heard the word. Yeah? Many types of companies there's not the urgency. The companies that tend to go toward agility are the ones who are more, there's an urgency in their marketplace, in their business, in their competitive situation. This is just quotes from The Economist. This was written in 2009, in the midst of what we now know as when the thieves from Wall Street and the financial community took all of us to the cleaners. And this was two comments they did interviews with a number of CEOs. One was, volatility is likely to remain a constant. It will continue to roil traditional business and operating models for some time to come. To be competitive, companies must respond quickly and nimbly, there's that word nimble, to the changing environment. Their ability to respond to market movements is core to sustainability. If you may have noticed, I'm not sure of the equivalent in Europe. Well, yeah. Kodak, Wang Laboratories, Digital Equipment Corporation, Xerox, mainstays. We've had 70% of the Fortune 100 companies have changed over the last 10 years. They weren't agile. Or they were bought. That's not agile too. So I would say, Mr. Executive, that it is critical that you know what agility is so that you can compete effectively.
But I think we recognize this, right? Ever-changing market circumstances, competitors going against us, and we have to be able to respond to that.
I think so. You have to even be able to detect when it's important, rather than fear it.
So that's being agile, right?
That's a good part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you still an executive?
Nope.
I don't see your time.
Nope. I was sort of...
Oh, you're Gunther Verheyen. Okay. This was, again, part of that same survey. 40%, by the way, is our going back and forth okay with you, or are we offending you? Hard to tell. 40% of the organization said that agility was core differentiator for us. It's critical, not just a nice to have. 48% said it's somewhat important, contributes to our business success, but they're not, they don't see it as just essential for their survival. And then you get down to type of response. So this is 40% is certainly right up there saying, got to do something about this.
Who of you would consider himself in the first category, where agility is really critical to surviving even?
It's kind of a tainted audience because I'm not sure why you would be here if that weren't true. But
who's in the second category? Well, it's somewhat important, still not too sure.
Who's in the last category? Not you.
No.
No, okay. So here's a question. I know some people said they were 100% agile and blah, 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 like that. So the question is, how do you know if your organization is becoming more agile? Because I'll say to someone, are you agile? And they'll say, yeah. These are types of things that would help you know. For instance, how many of you know how much money has been invested in agility per person in your organization?
Because most organizations are spending a lot of money on agile. Training, coaching, new infrastructure, toolings, tool sets, whatever. Who knows how much money you've been spending on agile per person in your company?
Mr. Manager, this is a job for you. You are supposed to use the resources and people who are working for you, and you're supposed to maximize their value to your organization. And I contend that if you don't know how much money you're spending, certainly you don't know what your return on investment is.
Yeah, that's true. And I love figures. I love to manage by figures, so I love this.
Yeah,
otherwise why don't I know that then?
Otherwise you're kind of like an expense.
Oh.
Well, not good. Go back to this. How many, what has been the return on this investment?
So you've been spending a lot of money on Agile, all of those fancy stuff like trainings. What's your return? What's your improvement?
Yeah.
How much do you get out of your investment so that you can figure out, hey, what's the return on my investment in Agile?
That would be another good thing that a manager would know. If you worked for me or I worked for you, I would expect to know an answer to that question.
Luckily, that isn't the case.
Oof. And we thought managers didn't have work to do. Wow. Okay, and then you should also know, how has your organization's agility changed? And you might even want to know an impact on this. If you're more agile, you would expect that you have maybe been able to go into new markets. So what's been your change in your market? What has been your turnover in your customers, the customers that you want to retain, the customers you don't want to retain? What's been your ratio of your sales to number of employees in development? I mean, those are all figures which would indicate agility and would be certainly a managerial responsibility.
So it's also sort of a measurement of how lean we are with our organizations. Yeah. What's the release frequency? How much releases do you get out per year?
Well, how many of your
with how many defects in it?
How many of your customers want is another one.
Oh. How good are we appreciated? Oh.
These are like management numbers. And what they indicate is the organization's ability to take advantage of its prowess, its increased skills in developing products. Because you can't, talk about all these things if you can't build products, if you can't create systems that give you more capability. So the two go together.
So we want to be more agile.
Yeah.
We now know what agility means.
Yeah.
We know that it's more than Scrum, it's sort of impacting the entire organization.
Yeah.
It will cost us a lot of money, and we want to measure the return we get out of it. That seems like a real management approach.
Well, this is an assertion. It should cost a lot of money. We don't know. Got to measure to know.
Yeah. Oh.
So,
otherwise, we're sort of blinded.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're doing.
And there are many approaches to become agile, like in the development organization. It'd be interesting to try one approach in one part of your organization, another in another, and see which has more benefit to the company in its attempt to be agile. Without that, guess what? We're not managing our company.
Which is strange, because indeed we see agility as something very critical.
Yeah, part of management.
So we should measure.
So what's your approach to becoming agile if it's so critical? This is just an idea. This is down in the trenches. This is a development organization. They're building software or building embedded software into hardware. But they're cranking out product, and they're maybe doing it at least every month or every 2 weeks or every 1 week they can build something that could be released. And this is the foundation to agility. If you can't regularly and predictably build the most valuable product with as little waste as possible, someone else can outcompete you.
And guess what? We've got a great framework for that. It's called Scrum.
Yeah.
No obligation to use Scrum, but it certainly helps.
We think so. We're prejudiced.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what we'd like to suggest is that this by itself, this unmanaged, is nothing. It certainly can create happier developers. It can create more creativity in all sorts of directions. But by itself, so what? And this is why when you go to ask for something significant, substantial change in the organization, they're like, why bother? Who are you?
So you do Scrum, you've got a bunch of teams, and all that's left is to start measure and judge those teams.
I think so.
But you have no idea how it contributes to the rest of the organization, to your overall profits and employee customer satisfaction and so on.
I would think that this would be something that, even at a Scrum or development level, I would want to know how much more productive we're being, how our defects are declining, how valuable the things that we're building are, how productive we're being, so that we can then, as we're seeing this, justify further investment. Do any of you have like Visual Studio 2013? You know how much that sucker costs? And then you have to get trained in how to use it, which means you have a lot of tools and techniques. What's the ROI in it? I don't know. Now, if I were saying, the salesman said to me, and I perceived that it would increase our return on investment, or at least the productivity part, maybe by 20%, I could perhaps justify it. But by someone saying, well, we've heard that you really got to do this, I just feel bullied. So, good thing to manage. Managers have jobs. This is good. I would actually even want to be able to look at a radar graph of, by different dimensions, our ability and how it's increasing, hopefully increasing as we invest more in how across time, how much time it takes to stabilize our releases, how long it takes to, how many releases we can do per time period. What's our employee satisfaction? That certainly should be going up. What's our customer satisfaction? Maintenance is these would be critical or key performance indicators that I would want to measure as I'm investing.
And instead of measuring individual teams, we think it's a great idea to not measure individual teams, but measure the overall health of your companies and the overall agility of your companies, so that you can see, hey, what are all of those teams contributing to our agility? And it's not about individual metrics, it's about a set of metrics. And it's not even about a set of metrics, it's about the evolution of a set of metrics.
Yes.
So you've got a number of indicators that you can use to then go down and do some root cause, whatever stuff, to delve deeper into, hey, what's going on? So these are indicators. These are not like objectives. We used to use KPIs, key performance indicators, as objectives. No, KPIs are meant to be indicators. They give you an indication of a situation, and you then can go further.
So managers would have to be agile. Because if I have just invested a ton to make my people more creative, empowered, and all this stuff so I can do all these other things, and I do a survey and the employee satisfaction is lower and the defects are higher, something is happening wrong. So then we can stop and we investigate what's going on. There's a saying, I don't know if this is known in Europe, but it's in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. If you actually have two eyes, wow, this is great life. And this is management information. This is another piece of management information, the sum of all of these types of measures that we're looking at, creating an overall index.
Yeah, because if you're a really, really, really important executive, you want to see only one figure, right? I don't care about all of those details, just give me one figure. We've got it. So we consolidate all of those beautiful indicators that we've shown you, and we will consolidate them into one figure. And we've named that Agility Index.
So in this one figure, you're saying that like the number of defects would be the same weight and value as my company's ability to increase sales in new markets?
Oh no, we'll be weighing different metrics. We'll be given different weights and different elements of importance and so on, and we'll bring them together so that you have sort of overall indicator, one figure, one agility index.
So this should indicate not only our ability, but our actual use of agility within our organization.
Yeah.
Wow.
It will give you an indication over time of an evolution of where you are on the path to agility. It's a path, it's about the journey. There's no end target. There's no, probably not 100%.
Oh, right, I see it.
An indication.
Yeah. Interesting. Would I have to report this to the government, or this could be?
Oh, let's use indicators for what they're intended to be. Keep them within the organization.
I think so.
It's not a medal you want to put on and brag about to your competitors and at big fancy parties. See, I've got 95%. It's no use. It doesn't serve that purpose.
Yeah,
it helps you to look at your own organization.
You tell your competitors, hey, our number's higher than yours, so what? You don't have to tell your competitors anything. Instead, you have just gained 20% of the market share they used to have. So this is a lagging indicator. So that's good. Now the way we could do this, the way we're suggesting, actually, let me go back to this for just a second, because I want to look at this. If you're seeing this and you're looking at numbers emerge, it may not be what you anticipate. Wow. So you are getting new information that requires you to respond to opportunities and challenges and control risk. So you are, by the process of managing this, managing with agility. So you
So that as a manager,
Yeah.
my strategy would be, I've got a bad indicator, a bad metric, that's bad for my bonus, by the
Yeah.
way, so I'm going down to the work floor. I'm going to check on the team, what have you been doing? Why did it take 6 days, although you've estimated it to 4 days? And I will...
That's not agility.
Oh,
That's bullying.
oh, that's not sort of agile management?
No.
Oh,
Agile management might say, going down to them and saying, by the way, isn't it interesting how we go down to them?
oh.
Maybe we'll move our desk. But whatever.
So we should
is to
welcome
look
the
and say,
information.
so what's happening? How can I help you? We intended to do this. It seems not to be happening. What's going on so we can try something else that might be more helpful? So management is no longer there to tell people what to do, and if they don't do it, you kick them. Instead, they're there to do everything they can to help people do things that help the organization become agile.
So we should welcome all sorts of information,
Oh.
as long as it represents reality,
Yeah.
even if reality isn't what we were hoping for.
Yeah, you don't kill the bearer of bad tidings.
No, that
You
doesn't
don't-
help.
Maybe you don't welcome them, but whatever. So this is an idea, if you want to be agile, is you don't want to start. I was working with an insurance company in Canada, and they showed me their 5-year strategic business architecture to become agile. 5 years. Actually, if I'm going to try changing an organization, an organizational process, the way they do contracting, the way they set up relationships with partners, I probably would want to do small changes, maybe changes that I could put in within a month, maybe the most important ones, second most important ones, dependency. I would want to change the organization bit by bit by bit, taking the parts which are burdensome, heavyweight, impediments to agility and changing them bit by bit. So we may want to form teams of managers or key people with business domain knowledge and put them on teams and have them create changes in the business. They may want to model it in, let's say, an innovation laboratory and then bring it in and change the business. But this is a progressive improvement of the organization's agility.
It's becoming agile in an agile way, because
In an
we're
agile
using
way.
iterative incremental progress. Because there's a funny observation on many companies wanting to be agile. They do it in a sort of waterfall way. They first focus on Scrum. It's like 2 or 3 years. And then during that 2 or 3 years, they find out that maybe engineering and the productivity domain isn't too great. So they will focus on that domain then for the next 2 years. And then they find out, wow, our business connection isn't too great. So we'll focus on that.
For 2 or 3 years.
That's sort of trying to become agile in a sort of waterfall way. Because by the time you find out about the engineering stuff, there may be an impact on how you do Scrum. So you will have that problems. So what we're suggesting over here is, look at your company from a sort of virtual structure where we have 5 domains. The enterprise as a whole, the value domain, the process domain being Scrum, productivity, quality domain. Hey, and as Ken says, organize your management in a number of change teams. We call them agility teams. It's like a Scrum team for agility. And progressively change in all of those domains in parallel. Sort of cross-functional, multidisciplinary view on change.
I might want to lay out maybe very clear for the type changes I want to do for the next 3 months. And then the other ones, we're going to see what happens.
Oh.
So I might want to have a progressively emerging plan of where we're going to be changing the organization so that then we can look and see if the metrics are changing the way we anticipated, and also see if the changes are taking hold. So we may have to go back and look.
Use the metrics for what we call in Scrum inspect, so we can adapt.
Adapt, right.
And the plan emerges. So I won't be, as a manager, there's no need anymore, there's no mandatory anymore to make up a plan for the next 5 years in all possible detail.
Yep.
Because change, cultural change, like agile change, is as unpredictable as can be. Oh.
This
Still?
is interesting because it has management managing change the same way that developers are managing product development, opportunistically to create the most value and continually inspecting the consequences and changing them if they need to be. Wow, it's kind of like taking advantage of opportunities, responding to challenging, and controlling risk management technique.
It's like using Scrum to transform your organization, your enterprise.
Yeah.
It's not saying that your complete enterprise needs to run on Scrum.
No.
It's using Scrum to manage the change process.
Right. Actually, the definition of Scrum is to manage complex development. And complex development of software products, complex development of changes to organizations. Both are hugely complex activities.
I think we can confirm that. No?
I am worried. We're starting to agree.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on here?
That's strange.
That's
I feel more like a manager now. I can manage again. I'm finding a sort of new role for myself.
I feel unneeded.
I like it.
I'm worried. Wow. So you might even evaluate practices as they are being implemented in parts of your organization. So for instance, we have here something called value. Value would maybe consist of product management, would consist of business management, would consist of being able to create value, increased revenues in the organization, so it would tie into sales, marketing, customer relations. And this would be all the practices that could affect those things, which should cause an increase in value to the organization. And this is our success in causing changes in those parts of the organization with new practices. Every month, we go back and we evaluate, not only put in new practices, but we go back and we evaluate if the old ones have taken. Because it's just like a bandage you put on. Oftentimes, it doesn't take and doesn't heal. You have to go back and re-investigate and reevaluate. But this is good to know, this progress, because you want to be able to compare your investment in changes to the organization, in making it more agile, with the impact in the metrics that you're looking at. And
you can obviously try to game the metrics. It will give you a great radar chart, but does it really help you?
Maybe, maybe not.
It will give you a great batch agility index, but maybe your company is going down the drain, so think about it.
I think this would be important to know where we've made our investment, where we think the impact has been made, but to always have a thermometer to say, looking from the outside in, have we had the impact that we are saying that we have?
So we're saying, look at your enterprise from those 5 domains, sort of virtual structure.
Yeah.
Hey, within each domain, you probably have a number of practices that you might want to try. And you can measure the effect of the practices in each domain on a sort of monthly basis.
The only reason we've created domains is so that you can have accountability. If we have a group responsible for release management, another responsible for sales, another group responsible for packaging and contracting, each one of those could have their own metrics and they could do very well, but it could have no impact on our agility in the marketplace. So we're looking for a metric which measures our actual competitiveness in the marketplace. All the rest are interesting, certainly worth investigating, but it's only the one that talks about our agility in the marketplace that matters. So we're trying to create accountability toward things that matter to the organization.
So it's what's happening with Scrum teams. Why are they so energized? Because they feel accountable again for their work. They can organize their own work.
Yeah.
We're going for the same at the management level. Oh, so we still move authority down the line,
Yeah.
but give managers accountability again.
So you don't feel buffeted by change. You don't feel incapable of responding. Instead, you feel engaged and that you can do the best you can in the marketplace.
Yeah. So you regain control, but your control doesn't come from a large predictive plan, but from incremental progress.
Now, just a warning, this does not ensure competitive success.
I feel great. I'm going to get rid of this. I'll get it out.
What it does ensure is you can do the best you can. You can't, at the end of 2 years, say, we could have done much better. Instead, you say, we did the best we can. This is what happened. Because this in no way guarantees either success or failure. It just guarantees that you can do the best you can with the information you have. And then, what more do you want from life? Well, let's not go there. Okay. So it's an interchange, it's intertwined circles of both people who are doing work and a change process that's iterative and incremental and continually inspects the impact of the change both in an internal sense and in an external market-oriented sense, so that you're actually creating an agile organization and it's having an impact in the marketplace, in the organization, month by month, year by year. Of course, you shouldn't get too eager. The metrics are going to lag the change. You know, for your customers to notice that you do things differently may take a while, 3 months, 5 months, I don't know. But, you know, eagerness should be constrained. So I think that would be good. We could call that agility path, and the idea here is continuous improvement.
So agility is a path. It's about the journey,
yeah,
and the journey is about continuously improving what you do. Things that may work this year may be working differently next year. And with agility path, it's a new framework. You can manage that.
And we could even say that the consequence would be competitive advantage. Or another phrase for that is making your competitors wish that they had never woken up in the morning. Good thing to do. You can be empathetic, you know, but so what?
Tap them on the shoulder. And
yeah, I say.
Oh, I feel sorry for you, but.
So, wow, that was kind of short and simple, wasn't it? I'm so sorry. We wanted to bring you something really complex, something algorithmic that you could struggle with and gain control of, but this is simple. It's just hard work to do, of course. Change is hard work. But I understand the Dutch. How many of you are from the Netherlands? I understand that you are hardworking, you have broad shoulders, and you are stubborn as mules. So this should be easy, right? Yeah. I think, what are the core values for Scrum? Commitment.
Openness.
Courage.
Respect.
Transparency. Should be a piece of cake in this country.
Yeah. It's embracing empiricism at the management level. It will help.
Yeah.
But it's not.
So we're done. It's your job now. See you next year. I hope you guys are much more agile.
Okay.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, guys. So for all of the speakers, we'd like to offer you a gift that I have to now bring over to you. Not very elegant. It's wine.
Okay, that's a surprise.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all, and keep leading change.
Yeah.
Okay.